Hello, I'm Yang, and today in Homemade Science, we're going to take a look at building some cardboard ramp walkers. Here's part of my collection. Now previously I have built some of these out of wood. I've also built one to deliver my lunch. Now the ones we're looking at today are much simpler, but before I get to them, we need to talk about the ramp. The length and the height are important, but for these to be successful, we need to look at the surface. Let me show you why. Now this old desktop has a nice smooth glossy surface to it, and if I put a walker on it, notice how it kind of slides down. But if we turn it over, this unfinished side is actually plywood. It's a little bit rougher, and if I put the walker on this side, it walks very nicely. Now here's a smaller one. It has side rails added to it. The support is built into it, and then when I painted it, I added a little bit of sand to the wet paint just to give it a rougher texture. Now going to the other extreme, the ramp could be as simple as a piece of cardboard propped up on another box, and if I put a walker on this, notice that it kind of slides down, but if I turn it over to this side, it walks very nicely. Now, what's the difference between the two sides? This side has a little bit of texture, and I did that by taking sandpaper and simply going across it to make the surface rougher. Now, going on to the walkers, here's a real simple one that was made from thin cardboard, such as a cereal box. Now, here's the pattern for it. Start by drawing the dimensions on a piece of thin cardboard. The 4 lines have been cut to form the legs, and then the bottom has to be curved. This is also done to the other 3 legs. The next step is to bend the legs down. Putting a ruler on the line where it's to be bent makes this a little bit easier. It walks pretty good. Now let's try it again in corrugated cardboard. Here are the dimensions. Here's the same pattern. I've cut out the legs and rounded the feet. And once again, I'll just use that roller to make the bend. And I'm going to press it a little bit harder than I did with the previous one. And I'll repeat the same step for all 4 legs. Now the corrugated cardboard takes a little bit more effort to get the legs perpendicular to the body. But something like that I think should be pretty good. Let's give him a try. Here he goes. Once we're satisfied with how it walks, the next step is to make it look like something. We can start by bending up the neck and then giving it a face. The nose is turned down and the ears are turned up. Now on the back end we can cut several thin strips and then squeeze them together so it looks furry, like it's a tail. And of course, as we watch these in slow motion, we get a better idea of the mechanics of its walking. As it moves down the ramp, we can clearly see it rocking from side to side. This rocking is due to the curvature of the feet. If they were straight across, it wouldn't work. As the rocker tilts over to the one side, the opposing leg kicks forward, while the support leg bends backwards, creating just enough tension, causing it to rock towards the other side. Not enough tension and the walkers fall over. Too much tension and they don't walk. The back legs are there primarily for support and help stabilize the walker. If you look closely, you can see these legs drag against the ramp. This keeps the walker from going too fast, But it also requires the ramp be a little bit steeper for this type of walker versus the other types. A walker with just one leg in the back is much less stable. I think my favorite design is probably this turtle. The body starts with a 5-inch circle that's slightly elongated. Add a second circle as part of its pattern. Add a head and a tail, and then of course add some type of design for the shell. This is then glued onto a piece of cardboard. After it dries, you can then color it. Here are the dimensions for the legs. I made 8 of them, which will then be glued onto the front and back of the cardboard legs. In making the legs, it's important to cut them with the grain versus against the grain. These legs also need to be curved at the bottom. The legs are spaced 3.5 inches from front to back. I found a glue gun is the best way to attach the legs to the body. You need to hold the legs in place until the glue cools. With the legs attached, the next step is to pinch right above where it's glued to the body. Otherwise, they're too stiff. They need to be able to bend a little bit easier. The front leg should be tilted slightly forward. Now it's time to give it a try. After it's working, you can attach the paper legs to the cardboard legs. Here's 2 other creatures that I designed. Both of these are much slower than the turtle is. Next up we have a spider. It has 8 legs, but it only walks on 4 of them. Notice that the legs are closer together. This makes it a little bit less stable and it can fall over much easier. Last walker for today is this gecko. Once again, it has legs closer together. It's a little bit less stable. I've also found that adding weights to some of these help them walk better. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go back and check out some of the ones I've posted previously. As always, I want to thank you for watching. Bye!